Hey guys, it's the WalterFootball.com After Dark show for July 2nd, 2024. We're going to be talking about some 2024 fantasy football hidden gems, which is, players right now who don't have much of an opportunity. But if they do, if their circumstances change, they could produce greatly for you. And these are guys who are drafted either extremely late, like last round, or undrafted totally. So we will discuss all of them with our co-hosts before we do the introductions. So please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. All that will be appreciated. As you can see here, we have the merch store up. Very appropriate t-shirt here. Biden pooped his pants. We have a bunch of other stuff, money laundering, and most importantly, most importantly,
Biden pooped his pants.
You didn't see that. You didn't see that one last time. I didn't know if they'd allow this, but they allowed me to make this shirt. So I was actually. You know what? I was wearing this shirt. I was walking my dog, and like the woman across the street, she's like 50, and she's walking the other way, and like she like stared at me, and she's like Biden put this pants. She like laughed. So I feel like either people are gonna hate you or love you, and you know what? Like my wife is like, why are you gonna wear this? Like people are gonna hate you. But I'm like, well then you'll know who your enemies are, and you'll know who you should be friends with. So it's I don't know. I gave this to my father-in-law for Father's Day. I gave this to my dad for Father's Day as well. So they both enjoyed it. So yeah, you can get the shirt as well. And I was about to bring this up. Today's July, first day of July, in an hour, second day of July. But yeah, the next month is a Gluttony Month. So you can get your Gluttony t-shirt here to celebrate Gluttony Month and just spread awareness because we need gluttons need their rights, just like everyone else. So get your Gluttony shirts here too. Also, please consider super chats, super stickers. They're a great way to support the show because we make nothing on YouTube ads. I say this all the time. It's like 70 cents if we don't get any super chats, super stickers. It's pretty horrible. So that would be really helpful. We had some great contributions last week. We had John Sanders, Slew, and also Kevin Kovac, just really helping us out a lot. We've had some others in the past, Germ Degeneron. You guys have been so awesome. So yeah, they're really, really helpful if you guys would contribute super chats, super stickers. Also, you could buy my book on Amazon. It is called Jerks of the College Years. If you like Jerks of the Week, it's the same thing, just from my college years, which is kind of crazy to think about. I graduated college almost 20 years ago, but I bumped into these crazy people 20 years ago. I wrote all about them, and you could read it in Jerks of the College Years. Also, if you want an autographed copy of the book, we have some requests for that. We can set that up as well. You can just email me. My email is it should be on the site at the bottom of the page. If it's not, just let me know. Anyway, without further ado, our co-host tonight, Kenny Ortiz, the owner of thecapIsFake.com. How are you?
Bro, I'm living the dream. I am just drinking coffee at 11 p.m. at night, Eastern time. And I've got the After Dark ambiance going. I hope that everyone enjoys I'm still trying to figure out the direction of anyway. Let me know, what do you guys think about the ambiance? How handsome, how dashing do I look in the After Dark ambiance tonight?
I think it's terrific. I wanted some ambiance as well. I don't have like a desk lamp or anything like that, but I think it's very appropriate for the After Dark show. So I'm extremely jealous right now. But yeah, you can let Kenny know what you think about that. Kenny on a Monday. Yeah. So we did this last week as well. I have plans on Wednesday, just hanging out with a friend, close friend for his birthday. So plus it's like the night before July 4th. So, I don't know how much interest there would be in a show, but we're actually going to do a July 4th show at night with Ben Wassley. It's funny because he doesn't celebrate July 4th, given that he's from Australia. And also it's going to be July 5th there anyway for him. So yeah, can't wait for that. But yeah, we're going to have a show on Tuesday, Thursday, and then Saturday this week, but no show Wednesday. So it's just switching Wednesday to Monday, only for this week. Sandra's wearing a Walter football shirt today, not for the show. That would be dumb. Didn't even know there was a stream. So, yeah, thanks for wearing the shirt, Sandra. I really appreciate it.
It would not be dumb, by the way. That would be brilliant, yeah. Cassandra.
I'm wearing a Ken Griffin Lied. So yeah, I do wear my own shirts. That's all I wear, really. Just the Walter football shirts. I get free shipping, given that I'm a creator on the site. So it's like one perk. Idiots Unite. I don't know what that's a reference to, but I guess I don't know if I guess Largent sounds like a huge fan. So thanks for joining us, Largent. Yeah, happy second half of the year. Kind of crazy. We're in Q3 already. To business wise, that's insane. Felt like the year just began. We're already in Q3. It's insane. Matthias says PSA all seasons of Lost available on Netflix. Yeah, my wife has been watching it actually. She's rewatching it for the second time. I've watched it like 5 or 6 times personally. And I'm gonna go back and watch it again at some point. But yeah, she's watching it for the second time. That's how I knew. Are you planning on rewatching Lost, Kenny?
It's not been on my radar, but I mean maybe I feel like I'm way behind on shows we have to watch. So my wife and I right now are catching up on 80s movies. So we just watched Beverly Hills Cop 1 tonight.
Nice.
And we'll be watching the second and third one soon because there's a new one coming out. So
I can't wait. I love Beverly Hills Cop. They were supposed to make a show, but it got nixed at the last second. I don't know what happened. But yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to the new movie. I love Beverly Hills Cop. Sue says, "Can he go with the Citizen Kane cinematic effects?" I like it. So yeah, we got one positive vote for Kenny. So
thank you.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into our topic. We're also going to discuss the Paul George signing for the Sixers at the end. We're going to open up some Rainmaker packs, and then we may or may not go into the presidential election the talk here. We talked about it maybe, or we might save it for another episode. We'll see how much time we have left. But anyway, like I said, this topic is about these hidden gems who are either drafted very late or undrafted. And, they might have a great opportunity to perform if given the chance. Like something needs to happen. So it's the top 5 for us, although I have one honorable mention. I think you have 2. Is that correct?
Actually, I think I have 3.
Are you 2? Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, I have 4. I collected some extras.
Sorry, so nice. We have another top 5 for honorable mentions. So, did you want to go first with your honorable mentions?
Yeah, I can do that here.
Okay.
All right, honorable mentions. Let me make sure I get the make sure I did this last time where I gave the wrong numbers, or I gave the I thought I had a certain number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, maybe I should use a spreadsheet or lines or anyway. Okay, my first honorable mention, Deontay Foreman, Cleveland Browns. I don't think Deontay Foreman's a great player, but he's been decent. He's been adequate and shown he can carry the load at times. And, I don't know what's going to happen with the Browns backfield. We don't know what's going to happen with Nick Chubb. Like, does he come back healthy? Does he not? He had a devastating knee injury. We all watched it, just gross live. It was sad. And you and I both been big Nick Chubb fans through the years. But if Nick Chubb is not fully healthy, and I think Deontay Foreman could be a guy that, that gets carries, and we've shown he's been a decent player. So I kind of like him.
Yeah. Deontay Foreman is on my list, so I'll add to it later. So yeah, keep going.
That's funny. Okay, other I'll go quickly here. Jermaine Burton, wide receiver for Cincinnati Bengals. He's a rookie. I don't know. He's being drafted in like around round like 14 or something in draft, something like that. I've mentioned this before. I don't watch college football much, and so I'm always relying on just reading scouting reports. But I've had several people that I trust that have different articles. Several guys I trust have said he's a really good route runner. He could kind of be pro ready immediately. There's some receivers take a while to learn how to run routes, but Burton's the kind of guy where he's kind of a good route runner immediately. That lends itself to being, good at fantasy football sooner rather than later. We've seen that with Devontae Smith. We saw that with Keenan Allen. And so if he's that kind of guy, that's great. And if the Bengals if T. Higgins were to get traded, which seems unlikely, at this point, but if he were to get traded, or if they were to have injury, he seems like the kind of guy that could be great, or at least be, produce significantly outproduces average draft position. I got Paris Campbell, who will be the third wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. Paris Campbell seems like, I like him as a good player. I don't know what happened in Indy. I feel like he had moments where he was really good. He plays inside and outside, so I think he's going to get a legitimate chance to be the slot receiver for Philadelphia. And if one of the, if Antonio Brown, if if Devontae Smith or AJ Brown were to get injured, Parrish Campbell could be in line for a lot of targets. And then my fourth guy, or I'll mention, is Demario Douglas, New England. He was rookie last year. He had a good season. I can't remember exactly what his stats were. I had him in front of me earlier here, and I don't have him from me right this moment. But I remember his stats looked really. He finished 21% of his team's target share. He had 46 yards, receiving yards per game. On 4 targets per game. Not great numbers, but he also missed a couple games. He was a rookie last year. They had a kind of an anemic offense, but I thought he was a really good player. I thought he had moments where he looked really good, and so if he gets opportunity, I think he could make some noise. So those are my 4 honorable mention.
You know what? I just looked up Demario Douglas's ADP. It's like 1607 or something. I didn't realize he's going so late. Otherwise, I think I would have included him as well. I like Douglas. He's had some positive reports in training camp, although you could argue everyone does. But still, there's a chance. I think he does really well in his second year. I like Douglas quite a bit. So I'll add him to my honorable mentions along with you. So I like that as well. Like I said, Foreman's on my list. I'll get to him in a little bit. Burton's interesting. But yeah, my honorable mention is I thought this guy would be drafted way later, and then I saw his ADP is like round 12, and I'm like, wow, that's so early. So yeah, he doesn't quite make the cut here. So maybe he's a sleeper of sorts. But then again, this is a funny name because I've not liked this guy recently at all, but I think his circumstances have changed. So this is Antonio Gibson. He's the RB2 on the Patriots. And I guess maybe that's why he's going early. So what I'm looking at is Ramondre Stevenson kind of runs like he is going to get hurt frequently. And then we saw what Ezekiel Elliott did with the Patriots last year. Like Elliott was not good. He's just not a good player anymore. And yet he produced good numbers, especially as a PPR player. He just caught a lot of passes, and we know Antonio Gibson could catch a lot of passes. He's he's a former receiver. So I feel like the Patriots could use him that way. Also, he's going to be running behind a better offensive line than what he's seen. The Patriots don't pass block really well, but they actually run block better than they pass protect. So I think Gibson could be in a good opportunity if Ramondre Stevenson goes down. But like I said, he's going in the 12th round anyway, so it doesn't really apply here. But I really thought he'd be undrafted or around 15 or 16. But I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Okay, so I didn't realize you can go in the 12th round because Antonio Gibson is on my list. So,
okay. Yeah, I all my guys. So one guy is going on my list is going 16th round. Everyone else is undrafted. That's how I went. So it's funny. We have honorable mentions on each other's lists.
And so, okay, I mean, Antonio Gibson, I have him as my number 5. Should I just talk about him then?
Yeah, go ahead.
In the last 4 years, since he's been in the NFL, he is 9th most targets in the NFL of all running backs, 9th most in catches, 6th most in receiving yards out of the backfield, 9th most in receiving touchdowns out of the backfield. He's been a PPR reception running back kind of machine. And before Brian Robinson really stepped in, I mean, Gibson was their primary ball carrier for a while. And so I think he's a really good player. Maybe really good's too strong. I think he's a good player. And I thought he was being drafted in the 14th round, but maybe I missed that. And so obviously Stevenson's ahead of him. Stevenson seems to be he's going to be the primary ball carrier, and Stevenson's shown to be a good receiver out of the backfield as well. So it's not like the kind of situation where Stevenson's going to be first, second down, and Gibson's the third round back or third down back. Excuse me. But if Stevenson were, I could easily see if Stevenson is inconsistent, and he's not a phenomenal back. He could have moments where he falters. I could see Gibson getting in there, or if Stevenson were getting injured, I think Gibson would be in line for a significant amount of carries, and he's shown to be a really good player. So I think you could do it now. 12th round, maybe that's a little high for a guy of his stature right this moment, but I don't think that's terrible either. So if you can get him in the 14th round or something like that or later, that to me that would be incredible value.
Yeah, his ADP is 12-12. So it's he is a late round player. Like I said, I think you could put him in the sleepers pile. But yeah, I was kind of surprised he's going that early as well. But I mean, like you made some great points, and I think he's someone you could target late, and he's going to be a better version than Ezekiel Elliott was last year. So, like we know that he should do well, like provided Ramondre Stevenson goes down. Let's see. Stu with a good point here. I wonder if Brissett and Gibson worked together when they were playing with the Redskins. Yeah, they definitely have some chemistry. Obviously, Brissett didn't play very much. He came in for a couple games toward the end of the year, but they were in practice together all the time. So I'm sure that they have some familiarity with each other. So that's a great point too.
How many seasons was Brissett there? Was he just one? I can't remember. Was he more than that?
It was one because he was at Cleveland the year before.
Got it.
Yeah, he's been bouncing around. Like the year before, he was in Miami. Year before that, he was in Indianapolis. Like this.
He felt like he's been around forever. I mean, he was the guy that was basically became the primary quarterback for the Colts when Andrew Luck retired. 5-6 years ago.
Yeah. I think it was Bill Parcells who was really high on Brissett when he was coming out. Like he thought he was going to be like a great starter in the NFL. Now, like Brissett didn't develop into that, but he's one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL, and so like I think he could even be a decent maybe like a subpar starter in the NFL. Like like is he like that much worse than Derek Carr? For example, like Derek Carr is the epitome of mediocre. I think like I'd rather have Carr, but I think it's kind of close. So let's see. Cassandra says I always have a positive vote for Kenny. It's nice.
Thank you.
All right. So my number 5, let's see here if I can pull up the right tab. There we go. My number 5 is, it's funny that you mentioned Jermaine Burton. I have Andre Yoshevas here. His ADP is 2806. So I'm going really, really deep here. If there were 2 drafts, you just start drafting over again. There's no guarantee he'd be drafted the second time.
If you're in a league that's 28 rounds, by the way, just smack yourself. Okay, just stop that.
Well, some people are in leagues. Like Ben Wasley, for example. We're gonna have him on Thursday. He told me he's in I think a 32 team league or something like that. So like these guys will be drafted in that sort of league, but it's still late. His ADP is like 20th round here. So, like what you said about Burton, I think applies to Yoshevas. Now, I think Burton as the 3rd round pick has more upside than Yoshevas, but Burton has no experience. We don't know how he's going to translate to the NFL. He could be good, but Yoshevas looked good at times last year, toward the end of the season. Toward the end, when Joe Burrow was even there, he had 4 catches for 36 yards against the Steelers, and then 5 catches for 36 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Browns. He's a big guy. He's an end zone threat. If Jamar Chase or T. Higgins were to go down, it could be Burton, but it could also be Yoshevas, who I thought like flashed some potential. So I think you could take your pick. Now Burton's ADP, I don't know what that is. Did you mention it? I could look it up real fast.
I did not.
His ADP is 200 overall, which is 17. No, actually, it's 1908. So I mean, both these guys are going undrafted. So you can make the case for Burton. You can make the case for Yoshevas. I think one of these guys is worth drafting, like with your last pick, or just kind of keeping an eye on them on the waiver wire.
Yeah, most of these guys are not guys you're going to draft. Most of the guys we're talking about are guys that you're just going to keep an eye on and be ready to pounce before your league mates do if it looks like they're going to get an opportunity.
Yeah, or if you're in a super sharp league and like all your sleepers are gone, and it's like I got to get one of these guys in like the final round or the penultimate round, like before I take my kicker or defense. So it really depends how deep your league is, how sharp your league is. You might be in a league where none of your sleepers are taken by the 13th round. So it really varies. So but if you're in a deep league, that definitely consider these guys. Sue asking Yoshevas, are sure he isn't a hockey player? he might be. By the way, the NHL draft was on Friday. Did you know that Utah has an expansion team? I was shocked to hear that.
Well, I thought it was the Phoenix Coyotes moving to Utah, right? It's not. I thought it was the team moving.
Okay, I don't know. I saw Utah. I'm like Utah. My dad was like, yeah, a new team. So you might be right. I don't know. But did you hear their team name?
No,
it's the Utah Hockey Club. It's like they like went with the Washington football team. Like they just ripped it right off. I don't know. It's so lame.
It is lame.
Yeah. All right. All right. So what's your number 4?
Okay, my number 4. I'm not even sure I can pronounce his name properly. Kimani Vidal. Is that am I even saying that right? Am I so I sound like an idiot?
Kamani Vidal, yeah. I mean,
He sounds like a tennis player, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's great at the French Open or something. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. Again, this rookie player. I don't know much about him other than I've read some scouting reports from guys I trust that think, again, it's the type of deal where, there's a lot of rookies who come in who are super talented, but their skill set doesn't necessarily translate to immediate success. And then there's guys that maybe be a little less talented, but their skill set translates to immediate success. So there's sometimes guys will step in, they'll be better sooner, but maybe not better long term. And it looks like from everything I read, Vidal is the kind of guy that kind of translates quickly, but maybe has limited upside long term. And I look at the Chargers depth chart and go, I'm not sure who else is there. We both like J.K. Dobbins a lot. If J.K. Dobbins is great, then maybe he's going to be healthy. But if if Dobbins gets hurt, Vidal probably gets the first shot is my guess. And for everything I've read about him, I think he's good enough that maybe he's good. Maybe he's not. Maybe he'll suck. But for a guy who's going undrafted, I think I want to take a shot at him.
Can I point out you're breaking one of your rules from last week? And like, hey, there's no one here. There might be like, let me try one of these guys. There's no one else.
Well, I mean, undrafted last round is different than I'm saying second round or third round.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. And I actually violate your rule as well later on. So you'll see that. So good.
I may not have cleared. Maybe like for me, the who else is their argument is the argument that people use for like second, third round picks, and I'm just like, oh yikes! Like that sounds awful. That's
I totally agree with that. Yeah, like I said, I violate that rule as well. But it's not the spirit of the rule. It's you don't like. I would say like the first half of the draft, and then once you start drafting your sleepers, it doesn't matter. But Vidal, I think could be good. We'll see. We like you said, we both like Dobbins. And I think like Dobbins has a great chance to be a sleeper this year. I don't know how much his ADP has changed. I doubt it's gone up. Yeah, Dobbins is actually going 2 picks earlier than Vidal, according to ADP.
Which is weird.
Which is like Dobbins' ADP is 153 overall. Vidal's 155. Rico Dowdle is 154. Like that group right there, like might be pretty good. I don't know. So it's kind of funny that they're all grouped together, but I could see Vidal. But I didn't think of him because I like Dobbins that much more. But you're right. I mean, you're right. He does fit the description of like a hidden gem.
Yeah, I love Dobbins, by the way. I mean, we're both on the same page there. I like the offense. Obviously, we like the quarterback. I like the coach. I like the philosophy. I think if Dobbins is healthy, he could have an unbelievable year. But if he's not healthy, that's a big if. That's why I'm looking at Vidal.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to buy low on Dobbins. I mean, he's now 2 years removed from the torn ACL, and I didn't like him last year because he's coming off the torn ACL. Like you don't want to draft running backs coming off that injury, but now he's he's further removed from it. But yeah, who knows? I mean, he could just go down week 1 again. But I think that there's a better chance that he stays healthy. Sue asking, surely Harbaugh would like to have another Frank Gore, Vidal, similar running style. What do you think? I mean, you read his scouting reports. Do you think that's, I mean, obviously Frank Gore is a Hall of Famer, but I don't know. I think like, maybe I don't know. Like, the Chargers are going to run the ball a lot. That's what they want to do. Like Harbaugh even talked about it. He wanted to beef up the offensive line. I don't know if like it's quite there, but it's
the comparisons that one guy that I read said reminds him of Amon Bradshaw.
Okay,
you remember him?
Yeah, for the Giants, yeah,
but Giants and the Colts briefly. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was an interesting compare, like kind of like that style. So don't expect this guy to be amazing, but he could be productive early on in his career.
Yeah, and we've seen so many late round running backs pan out, like compared to other positions, like recently, like Philip Lindsay was undrafted. Like that happens all the time. Arian Foster was undrafted. Like these guys come out of nowhere. And they can perform well. So I think it's worth taking a shot on one of these guys. So staying with the Chargers and also staying with the rule violation, which not really, but still, we have Brendan Rice, receiver for the Chargers. His ADP is 2705. So again, like he's not going to be drafted in any league unless you're in that 32 team league, which and even then he may not be drafted. So a lot of people are asking me. I get this question a lot, like who's the Puka Nacua of this year, and it's like, okay, well, we probably won't get Puka Nacua anytime soon. You know, this is such a special situation. But if there is going to be a Puka Nacua this year or someone similar, I think it's going to be Brendan Rice. He went in the 7th round, obviously the son of Jerry Rice. But I thought that I thought he would go 3rd or 4th round. I was shocked that he fell. I don't know if Charlie did a wide the slide on him. Maybe I'll ask him to do that if he hasn't. Maybe I'm misremembering. But yet, no, I was really surprised that he fell. You know, he's going to have an opportunity. It's like who else is there for the Chargers? There's Ladd McConkey, who's has some glowing reports in the OTAs, but he's only a rookie. We don't know what we're going to get out of him. We have Josh Palmer, I think is going to be like an average to like slightly above average player, you know, for the Chargers, which could be good enough, you know, with Justin Herbert. And then you have Quentin Johnston, who was so bad last year. He was outplayed by Darius Davis at the end of the year. Like, he was horrible. Now, I mean, Johnston could rebound. He could have a solid second year. Like, there have been players who've had horrible rookie years and have made something of themselves. So I wouldn't give up on him. But, you know, what if Johnston just never pans out? What if Palmer is just mediocre? What if McConkey is a bust? Like, there might be an opportunity for this. And, you know, we might get the question like, oh, what about the Chiefs? Like, no one stepped up at receiver for them in 2022, you know, before Rashee Rice. Well, the Chargers don't have anyone like Travis Kelce, who like soaked up so many targets. Like, they're going to have to throw, and someone's going to have to catch the ball. And again, there's no Kelce. There's not even Austin Eckler. He's gone. So like, that's a ton of receptions that they lost out of, like, with Eckler being gone. So someone has to catch passes. It's probably going to be McConkey and Palmer. It might be Quentin Johnston, but there's also a very slight chance it's Brendan Rice. So, you know, this is not like Nepotism James, who's forced into be drafted at 55. Like, Brendan Rice, I thought was a legitimate talent. So I like him quite a bit. Probably not going to draft him unless all my sleepers are gone. But, you know, late last round pick, I don't think it's the worst thing.
By the way, nepotism doesn't bother me one bit. Everyone does it in every business. The number of people, can you get my son an internship? Sure.
Well, I don't know. I was like, that was the reaction to it. Like people were like, oh, there's so much nepotism. I'm like, well, does that make it okay? You know, it'd be like,
nepotism is everywhere. Like, who cares?
It'd be like, this guy murdered this person. Oh, people get murdered all the time. Like, you know, it's like, I don't know. Like,
murder is inherently immoral. Nepotism is not. Why is nepotism wrong?
I think nepotism is immoral.
If I own a business, you better believe I'm going to hire my kid over your kid.
Even if he's the far worst candidate, really.
The far worst? No,
like,
he could be worse, but I'll still hire him over. Like, no, that's
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I do that. Like, if it's even, sure. If it's like the tiebreaker, like, obviously, but
if your kid's an 8 and my kid's a 5, I'm hiring my kid over yours.
Well, see how your business does then.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, if my business is doing the only way I can hire anyone is because my business is doing well. If it's sucking, I can't hire anybody.
That's true. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's like pick 55. It's like, who cares? But, you know, I mean, if it wasn't for if he wasn't LeBron James' son, he would not have been drafted. Like, this guy, like, and he's not even a 5. Like, you're talking comparing 8s to 5s. Like, he's not a 5. He averaged 4 points per game. He can't shoot. He can't dribble. He can't do anything. Like, I like, why is this guy, like, if there's a 3rd round, I don't think he would have been drafted. So, it's a really bad pick. I don't know. I think it was a bad look.
If it keeps your star player happy, I mean,
he's like $1 billion years old. He's not gonna be there much longer. And, like, he's not gonna be a star like for that much longer. Like, he's what, 40? Is he 40 now? He's gonna be 40 in December. So he's not gonna be there that much longer. I don't know. I think the Lakers should rebuild, if anything. But they're not. So we have Sue asking a chance maybe Rice could be the next Tank Dell. So I mean, yeah, we had that. Yeah, it's true. We had Puka Nacua and Tank Dell. No, I think Rice has a chance, to be a halfway decent player. I was shocked he fell to the 7th round. I thought he would go 3rd or 4th, but just don't know why. John says, just got here. Who do you think is going to be the Puka Nacua this year? Nice, John.
Well done.
Yeah, Bagley says, didn't Tom Coughlin draft his son-in-law when he was with the Giants? That was Chris Snee.
Chris good, right?
Yeah, Chris Snee was actually a good player. Like you're not drafting a 5 there. Like Chris Snee was really good. So like I saw this, like this guy was like, there's been a whole slew of nepotism, and he like listed all these examples, and like one of them was like Kyle Shanahan. I'm like Kyle Shanahan wasn't just handed a job because he was a son of Mike Shanahan. Like he was a great offense coordinator and he earned it. Like that's not nepotism.
But what it started out, but it didn't start that way. The reason he got the chance to start that way is because he got a low level job because of who his dad was, and then he worked really hard and made the most of it. But yeah, like the fact that his dad was who he was kind of helped him, which I don't think is a big deal. I don't think that's bad.
So you don't think he would even got that lower level job if he wasn't? I don't know. I think
if his dad never played in the NFL, never coached the NFL, Kyle Shanahan might be like a brilliant accountant for some. He might be the CFO of a Fortune 500 company because he's a brilliant guy, right? He's an incredible strategist and he's a really good manager of people. So maybe he's not in the NFL. Maybe he's the CFO of Apple or whatever. I don't know.
But I don't count that as nepotism, like getting the lowest level job and then working your way up. I don't think that's nepotism.
Nepotism would be he would not have gotten that job if not for his dad. That's a variation of nepotism. Maybe it's a lighter version, but it is still a version of it.
But he still had to work super hard. When I say nepotism, it's like he's instantly an offense coordinator because of his dad, or
But maybe Bronny's going to work his tail off and become a really productive, bench player in the NBA. He's not gonna be an all-star, right? But what if he ends up being a really good, sixth man? Okay.
But he was drafted onto an NBA team. Like teams only carry 12 players. Like he's gonna take someone's spot. Like it's not like he's gonna go in the G League or anything like that.
Maybe he'll work hard on those guys. I don't know. Given a roster spot immediately on an NBA team, I think that's nepotism. Whereas he send him to the G League if he works hard and does well, he can make it to an NBA roster. I don't think that's nepotism. He's going to have to work hard, but you're instantly giving him a high position. Yeah, he's going to have to work hard to keep it though. He's not going to keep it.
Oh, sure, but that's the same thing. I'm saying it's giving your 22-year-old son a VP job instantly. That's nepotism, but
that's a false equivalent. That's not being the 12th man on the Lakers is not a VP job. That's not the same.
Well, if you have a lot of VPs, all right. So I don't know.
Hey, I usually
if you're on the board,
when I have a chance, if I'm the president of a university and my daughter's graduating college, she's going to get first dibs. She's going to get a better job. I'm just it or not.
If you have 12 people on the board and you make your son, your 22-year-old son, who's just out of college, not proven himself, you just put him on the board. That's nepotism. But if you give him a job in the mailroom, you're like, hey, work your way up. We'll see what happens in a few years, 10 years, whatever. Keep working your way up and work hard, and then you can get up there. I don't think that's nepotism. Anyone could get that sort of job. Whereas anyone with any remote sort of talent can go to the G League. Where it's you're just given a roster spot immediately on the Lakers. I think that's clear nepotism.
If there's 1,000 people who want that job and the reason the guy got it is because he's the son, it's a light version of nepotism. But I'm not bothered by that. I don't know. I don't know why it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me one bit. I think of Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, who's approaching, is in his 70s now or whatever. His son Julian has been an intern, and every year he's interned in a different department for the last 4 years. Because everyone knows he's going to take over as the CEO of the Eagles at some point in the near future. I think he's in his 30s. He's younger than I am. No. Well, he wouldn't have got there if his dad wasn't the owner of the Eagles, but I don't care. It doesn't bother me because if I were the owner of the Eagles, I would do the same thing.
So when he runs the Eagles into the ground, you're not going to care?
But I don't know if he's going to run to the Eagles. He might not. He might do a great job. We don't know that.
I don't know. I mean, if he only got his job because of that, like, there's a good chance that he's going to.
No, there's not a good chance. There's lots of guys who get their job. I think of Joe Buck. Joe Buck is I think a great commentator. The only reason he started is because his dad was there.
We disagree there. I don't think he's good at all. I think he sucks.
I think he's got a great voice and he's really insightful in multiple sports.
I think he's super boring. I can't listen to him.
I think you're boring. I'm off. I'm hanging up. We're done. Chris Collinsworth's son is the same way. I mean, I think.
Oh God, Jack Collinsworth, he sucks. Like, there's no reason he should be on TV.
But he's there because his dad's there. That doesn't bother me.
I know. That really bothers me. I hate it. Like, this guy's awful. Like, why is he on television? Why am I listening to him? Oh, because of his dad.
Yeah,
it's horrible. It's horrible.
I think his dad's great, by the way.
Oh yeah, I love Chris Collinsworth. We disagree on something here.
We are way off the track here. This is
yes. It's almost like one of the episodes of Tom. We start with something, we go all over the place, which is a lot of fun. John says drafting Bronny guarantees Lakers back-to-back in-season tournament champions. That's right. They're extremely important in-season tournament. Like, what happened with that, by the way? Like, they won the in-season tournament. Like, what did that get them? Like they got money from it, right? Didn't they get money or something?
I don't even know if they got them anything.
Yeah, I feel like it should like give you a playoff spot or something, like, or if you make the playoffs already, then you get a home court or something in the first round. Like, it should do something for you. Like what's the point of an in-season tournament? I just don't understand.
I don't know.
Yeah, anyway. John says Kyle Shanahan is a perfect example of the gray area when it comes to nepotism. Would Marvin Harrison Jr. be drafted number 3 overall if his father wasn't Marvin Harrison? I mean, yeah, he would still be that high. Yeah, I mean, that has nothing to do with nepotism, I don't think.
I mean, it's genetic nepotism.
I guess so.
He wouldn't be the 3rd pick of the draft if his dad had not passed along these incredible genes.
Well, sometimes it doesn't get passed along. So
those genes, I mean, my dad didn't get passed along in genes. I mean, my dad's a truck driver. He's a great guy, but the skills to be a truck driver is different than the skills to be a 100 catch a year wide receiver.
Yeah, no, I mean, remember Eric Lindros and Brett Lindros? Oh, you're not a hockey fan, never mind.
What is that? What is this thing? What is the thing you speak of?
Eric Lindros.
Yeah, I know.
Like Brett Lindros came along, I'm like, oh, this is going to be great, and then he was horrible. Or Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Rodgers, maybe that's a better example. I know they're brothers and not father son, but still, it's a weird thing how, like, one brother can be so talented, like one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and then his brother just can't even be in the NFL. It's funny how that works that way. Bagley says, I think there's a point in diminishing return. I might hire a 7 over a 9, but not a 2 over a 4. I feel like if you can get a 9, like where, like, he could take your company like to great places, I don't know. I don't know. Like, am I going to just hand my website to my son in the future? Like, what if you can't write at all? Like, I don't know. Like, he may not even want to do it. I don't know.
But if he wants to, yes, give it to him.
Just give it to him. Maybe my daughter will be. Maybe she'll start.
Yeah. Do we let girls do sports? Is that a thing yet in America? Sorry.
So what do you apologize for? Don't
I couldn't even.
I tweeted out today. Someone I forget what they tweeted. But I was like, I reply. It was like some woman talking, and I'm like, yeah, thanks for reminding us why the 19th Amendment should be abolished. And I got like,
oh my God, you're terrible.
I get so many women, and this one like cat lady was like stick to sports betting, jack off, and then she like also replied like, I can't believe she first replied, she was like, no woman, she's like, you must not like women at all or something. And I'm like, well, I am married, and actually my wife agrees with me. And then she's like, it's like, no woman would marry you. And then she like blocked me, so I couldn't even reply, unfortunately. So that was a lot of fun. I love trolling these idiots. It's like the best. It's like the best. Like if you're bored and just like on the toilet or something like that, that's what I do most of my tweeting. Just like harass these people because they're so stupid. Anyway. John says it should give them another second-round pick to give to Anthony Davis' son. Yeah, just give it to all the crappy children and see what happens. John says Kyle Shanahan is genetic nepotism, also in that example. Yeah, that's true. I mean, Kyle Shanahan might be better than Mike Shanahan. Debatable. I don't know.
Until he wins the Super Bowl, it's hard to say that, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he had John Elway and Terrell Davis, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's a great team. Sue says, "What about Joe and Hunter?" Let's give Hunter the presidency. Let's have him.
There. Oh gosh. Oh.
What if Hunter, like? I feel like, you know how in Game of Thrones, like you can you know, if you do trial by combat, you can get a champion. I feel like in debates you should have a champion. And I feel like Joe should get like Hunter. It has to be in your family though. Like Hunter would have to debate Trump. that would be amazing, wouldn't it? You'd show up high and like it's like the eyes would be bloodshot.
That would be both hilarious and horrifying all at the same time.
I know.
That would be just like, oh my gosh.
I know. By the way, real quick, I rewatched the Reigns of Castamere last night because we are with Tom. We're at that episode in the next. He's about to watch that too. I was like, man, I watched it at like 2 a.m. I'm like, geez, like I don't have to go to sleep right now. I don't think I could do it. Crazy episode.
Mm-hmm.
My Dolphin Fin says Joe Milton is here to save the New England Patriots. Maybe it'll be him. I do like Brissett, but obviously he's not the long-term answer. I like Drake May's upside, but yeah, it could be Milton. Probably not. I don't know, his decision making so bad. All right, so I'm up to number. Am I up to number 4? Or are you up to number 3? I think you're at 3.
I'll give him my first 2. I give you my third. Ready?
Yeah. Okay, so you're number 3.
Okay, I did not look at his ADP actually. That's probably a big mistake on my part. But
That was it.
Let me. It's Mr. Ricky Pearsall. Is it Pearsall or Pearsall?
Pearsall. His ADP is 185, which would be he's undrafted. He's 1805 right now.
Again, similar situation. Another rookie that I've not seen play, but I've just every person, every analyst out there that I trust that has watched this guy play says he's fantastic and he's a perfect fit for the Niners. And we've seen like both Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, especially Deebo, get injured, and we've seen George Kittle get injured. We've seen like all these guys have injury problems. Even Christian McCaffrey in his, although recently he's been better, and so. If this offense that has so many weapons ends up, missing a guy, that just means there's going to be potentially more targets to go around. And, as we've talked about Shanahan, he's a brilliant mastermind. And when it comes to offensive scheming, he's one of the guys that he tends to get the best out of his players and knows how to put them in the right position. And so, if Pearsall is this talented, as everyone says, and he's this good of a fit, I find it hard to believe that he won't contribute to some extent, even if there's no injuries. And if there isn't a major injury to one of those players, I could see Pearsall just kind of catapulting to at least a wide receiver 2 type player, maybe even better. And so I think he's the kind of guy I want to be targeting in the last round of most of my drafts.
Yeah, you know what? This is another guy where like I probably should have looked up his ADP because I assumed it was a lot earlier than this, and it's not. I mean, he's undrafted right now. Obviously, things will change if Ayuk is traded. He's going to vault up the ADP rankings, so he's not going to be hidden gem anymore. But even at the moment, like you said, it's a great point. Like Samuel has an injury history. Ayuk could get it hurt as well. If one of those guys goes down, Pearsall is going to be a nice replacement. So I think he's someone to watch out for. Like I wouldn't draft him at the moment, but like. Late round, like I said, if all your sleepers are gone, you can take him. Or if you're in a super deep draft, like you're going to be interested in him. I do love his potential for sure. So it's I like that one. I'm going to add it to my list here on the site eventually.
Excellent.
Let's see. My Dolphin Fin says Pats should have taken Penix. Big mistake. I think you could be proven right. I think you can argue Penix over May. You could also argue the other way. But yeah, I mean, they're completely different players. Like I feel like May has more upside, but I think Penix has a higher floor. So we'll see how they pan out. Sue says 49ers receivers have to be good blockers and willing to do it. Yeah, it's definitely a requirement. John says they're not dumb enough to trade Ayuk. Yeah, I don't think they will. But
I don't think so either,
yeah, so I think Samuel might get hurt though. They're not the Bills with Diggs. My Dolphin Pit says, what's so impressive about May? I mean, he's got he has better talent than Penix, like overall. Now he's like more raw. Like I just think that he has a lower floor, but he has sky high potential. Like he kind of reminds me almost of like Josh Allen coming out, like where I thought like Josh Allen would be like 2-year project, and then like third year he would be great. And Josh Allen like actually beat expectations. Like his second year is really good. Like he developed a lot faster than I thought he would, and he was like a year ahead of where he should be for a while. And we'll see about May. Like I feel the same way. I think like year 3 with May, I think that's when he could take off, and maybe the Patriots good for the playoffs in 2026. And it's a long way out, but yeah, maybe he'll be better than anticipated in 2025. But yeah, John says May landed in a horrible side. I agree. They don't have much of a receiver. Damari Douglas is their best option, or unless it's like Jalen Polk, but yeah, there's not much to like there at all. And the offensive line is not good either. So Patriots are going to be bad for a couple of years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my number 3 is Greg Dortch. His ADP is 2704. Again, guy not being drafted at all, not even on anyone's radar. But I think he should be. And this is, I should preface this is more from PPR. He had some, like, if you look at his game log last year, he did nothing in the first half of the year. Like, he barely played. Starting in the second half of the year, though, like, he finally took the field, and that was because Rondale Moore got traded. He suddenly had an opportunity. He was playing out of the slot. He caught 6 passes for 76 yards against the Texans, caught 7 passes for 82 yards at Philadelphia. So these are good PPR numbers. This guy works really hard. I was reading about him, like his work ethic is like through the roof. So I think he's a guy who's going to improve every year. And Kyler Murray is healthy for now. Like Murray wasn't on the field first 2 months last year either. Like they were going through Joshua Dobbs and the Clayton Tune, like all these like pedestrian quarterbacks, or in Tune's case, like absolutely abysmal quarterback. But like to start the year, they're going to have Kyler Murray. So I kind of like this formula where, obviously you have Marvin Harrison Jr. He's going to take Marquise Brown's spot. You have Michael Wilson, the other outside receiver, but then you have Greg Dortch in the slot. And I think like Greg Dortch could be the number 3 target behind Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. I think that he could have a really nice PPR year. I don't expect him to do much in like standard. Like I don't think he's going to be a guy who's going to catch a lot of touchdowns, like maybe 3 or 4 if you're lucky. But he could really approach a high receptions number. So in PPR, I'm going to be looking at Greg Dortch, maybe with my last pick, or just monitoring him on the waiver wire.
I think he's okay. I'm not so confident. I'm a little bit surprised because you've not been high on the Cardinals. I feel like you've been down on them, so I'm a little bit surprised by that. But I think he's he's an okay option.
Actually, Arizona is one of my top picks for week 1. I know we're not allowed to talk about betting here, but Arizona +7 at Buffalo, one of my favorite picks for week 1.
Is that a Kenny special? Is that a 1 o'clock game in Buffalo?
Yes, it is. But it is week 1. But no, it's Buffalo. Buffalo has to play at Miami or against Miami in like 4 days after that. And I really don't expect them to be considering Arizona very seriously. Also, like the Bills are going to be gelling. Like they have a brand new receiving core. They have some other new players. Like it feels like the week 1 they're not going to be as strong as they're going to be at the end of the year. And plus, like Arizona last year, like yeah, they had a bad record overall, but that's because Murray missed most of the year. Like late in the season, they went into Pittsburgh, they blew out the Steelers. They went into Philly, they beat the Eagles. They played the Texans really closely. They almost beat Houston in Houston. They almost beat Seattle at the end of the year. Actually, they lost to Seattle. They almost beat Seattle late in the year as well. Like they were much more competitive to close out the year. And like now, I feel like a lot of people are underestimating them. And like the fact that they're 7-point underdogs against a team that has to gel and will be looking ahead, I think that's it's a great value. It's a great spot for Arizona.
Nice.
So. Yeah. Some more comments here. My Dolphin Fit says Penix made some unreal throws this past year, minus the national championship. He was an amazing starter for 2 years, and as a freshman in Indiana, I don't know what the hype was on May. Penix outplayed him in college. Well, yeah, no, he did for sure. I mean, Penix was terrific for Indiana and Washington. Problem is, he's almost 25, and May has he has great scrambling ability too. So I mean. Two things Penix doesn't have is youth and the scrambling ability. So, plus he's left-handed. Yeah, that may not matter for a lot of teams. Like some teams do, it does bother them. The left-handedness. Like, I know it doesn't matter for Tua, but sources talk to Charlie about that. They're like, yeah, you have to change your whole offensive line. Like you have to change everything for left-handed quarterbacks. So that might be an issue as well. My Dolphin says I love the Purcell pick. Great runner. Can play nicely slot or outside. If you want to see something depressing, go to the Pac-12 homepage at WalterFootball. What's the Pac-12 homepage? I just don't want to. I don't want to. I'm going to look in a second. John says Josh Rosen outplayed Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson in college. He did. Yeah, we were all over Josh Rosen busting. Charlie reported, and like Charlie got some major backlash for this, but he ended up being right as usual. He reported that Josh Rosen had outside interest compared to football, that he wasn't really in love with football and he wasn't going to take his career very seriously. And that's exactly what happened. Like Josh Rosen just didn't try really hard. He wasn't engrossed in the film. He just it seemed like, he was just talented. So he had to do it and just felt like he was forced into it. And if he put more effort into football and stuff like that, he probably would have been a decent pro, but he just didn't care. So yeah, Charlie was all over that story.
Side note, I just went to the Pac-12 homepage. I don't know what's odd about it. I don't know. It just seems normal to me. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to is it pac12.org? Is that it?
Pac-12 pac-12.com.
Oh, I went to yeah, I don't know. I can't find it. So I don't know.
Maybe, what is that about?
Yeah, maybe you could tell us. Yeah, scrambling, check his 40. It was solid. He's also had knee injuries too. May's a better scrambler though. Zeus says Josh Rosen, LOL, bad Jay Cutler. Yeah, horrible Jay Cutler. My Dolphin says there are only 2 teams on the Pac-12 homepage. Okay, yeah, Oregon State and Washington State. So weird. Yeah, because you have all the teams left the Pac-12. You have like USC. What it was in the UNC and Washington are in the Big Ten. I can't remember. Like I know USC is. And then like all these other schools, they changed conferences. I don't even know who's in any conference anymore. I'm just giving up. I don't know. I can't follow it anymore. I'm too old.
I don't know. I've never known.
Yeah. Pac-12.com. I was looking at something else. Washington, Oregon, UCLA, and USC to the Big Ten. Okay, so yeah, 4 teams to the Big Ten. That's crazy. Like, what is this? Like, what's the point of even having conferences? Just put everyone in, have one standing. Just I don't know. 18 teams in the Big Ten and 18 in the SEC. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't like it. I remember the good old days when you used to know which teams were in which conference. Yeah, I agree. Get rid of the conferences. Yeah, I don't know. It's just for TV and whatnot. Okay, so I did my Greg Dortch. You're up with your number 2.
All right, my number 2. Last 2 are running backs. Neither of these guys are going to be a surprise, especially my number 2. Almost made up my number 1, but there's a reason not. I have been the president of the Khalil Herbert fan club, and so Khalil Herbert has to be on the list because he's just. And I could be wrong. I have been wrong before, but I'm willing to. I've just watched this guy play with these 2 eyeballs that work half of the time, and he's a really talented running back. He does the stop go, he does the lateral, he's got the vision, like all the stuff that the gurus say that good running backs have. He seems to have all of them. And the fact that he's not able to be the primary running back on a team, I don't get it. I don't understand. Whether it's injuries or the team seems to trust someone else more than him. I don't understand it. I don't understand how David Cement Shoes Montgomery was getting carries over him. I don't understand how Roshan Johnson, who's a fine player, but I don't get it. So obviously something I don't know, but I'm willing to take another shot on him. DeAndre Swift and Roshan Johnson being there. The only reason Herbert's not my number two, or is not my number one, he's my number two, is that he to get the opportunity, it seems like he's going to need two guys to get out of the way. Because it seems like even if DeAndre Swift were to get injured, that Herbert and Johnson, we saw last year, Roshan Johnson got plenty of carries. And it looked like for a stretch there, Roshan Johnson was the primary ball carrier. So it seemed, for whatever reason, the Bears coaching staff or leadership doesn't seem to trust him. We've had multiple regimes now there. So we'll see how this year goes. But if DeAndre Swift were to go down, which we've seen, and if Roshan Johnson were to go down, I would imagine Herbert would finally get the chance to be the guy. And I'm convinced when he finally gets the chance to be the primary guy, that he's going to be awesome. I'm convinced of that. Well, whether or not we ever see it, I don't know, but I'm willing to keep tabs on Herbert and draft him in the last round or second to last round and see what happens.
I mean, you're totally right. We've seen DeAndre Swift get hurt before, so the Lions got rid of him because they just didn't trust him anymore, and they spent a first round pick on Jahmyr Gibbs, which looks great at the moment. I like Herbert as well. He didn't make my list, but he easily could have. This guy, when Swift goes down, like it's when, not if, he's going to have a good opportunity, I think. So, I like Khalil Herbert for sure. Kenny says Kenny may be wrong about Joshua Palmer, but he's spot on about Khalil Herbert.
Spot on about both. Come on, guys.
Dolphin says, I miss the Big East football. Yeah, I miss all the conferences. So he says the best is Stanford and Cal in the ACC. How do you feel about Stanford and Cal being the Atlantic Coast Conference?
Yeah, that's so great. I mean, wait a minute. You said he missed Big East football? Does he miss University of Miami beating Temple 77-10? Does he miss UConn getting smoked by whatever other team they're playing? I don't know. Sorry, I don't miss Big East football.
Yeah, well, I mean, there were some bad games. Yeah, what was Temple doing in the Big East, by the way? I think it's so weird.
What are they in now? Are they in the MAC now?
You're asking the wrong person. I don't know. I've lost track of this. I was shocked that in Central Florida was in the Big 12. When that happened, I missed all this stuff. I'm like, it's too many movements here. I can't follow it. Like I said, I'm too old. If I was 20 years younger, I could probably follow it. I just can't. John says there's a Chicago beat writer who says Herbert is on the roster bubble. Interesting. Do you know who that is? I mean, it might be someone who's not a good beat writer. This is like I mentioned last week. Remember, it says Cecil Lammey was talking about how Javonte Williams may not make the final roster, but like Cecil Lammey is one of the best reporters out there. Like, period. We don't know how good of a beat reporter this guy is. So I don't know. I mean, it could be legit. I don't know. Who knows? Right. But it's odd though, because I don't know why they don't like Herbert. If this is true, I don't know why they don't like him. I agree with Kenny. I think he's pretty talented. All right. So my number 2 is also a running back, but you mentioned him before. It's Deontay Foreman. His ADP is 1907. So we're edging closer to draftable territory here. So Foreman, you brought up a great point with Foreman. I'll add to it though. Nick Chubb is coming off that awful injury. Don't know if he's going to play this year. The only guy really ahead of him on the Browns depth chart is Jerome Ford, he's okay. He's not that good. I feel like Foreman could beat him out. And we've seen Foreman perform really well in multiple occasions, for the Texans, Panthers, and Bears. He's had good performances for all three of those teams. And now he's going to be playing behind the best offensive line he's ever seen in the pros. Cleveland's offensive line is top notch. They get Jack Conklin back from injury. This blocking unit is awesome. And so Foreman, if he gets the opportunity, if they're not happy with Ford or Ford gets hurt, Foreman could have some monster games in the middle of the season or down the stretch. I could see him if Ford gets hurt and Chubb doesn't come back, I could see Foreman winning someone a league just because he's going to have some starts behind Cleveland's offensive line. He's going to rush for like 150 yards and like 2 touchdowns in some games. Like this is something Foreman could do. So I have some interest in drafting him late. Like provided we don't hear any positive news on Chubb. Like this is a guy who could easily have some great performances. So yeah, we're definitely in sync on this one.
Nice. Yeah. I don't think he's like a super talented player, but he's proven to be productive. And that's where like, even like going back to like the conversation, like when we said like, who else is there conversation, like it's not purely a who else is there. Cause it's like, well, he's actually proven that he's a competent player. So he's not a guy I'm looking at merely because there's no one else on the roster.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. Yeah, like I think you said it perfectly. He's not a superstar, but he's proven he can get the job done if given the chance. So it says Chicago beat writer could also be a DEI hire. It's true. It's true. Definitely true. We laugh, but it could be true.
It's Chicago.
Yeah, definitely. Adam Johns and Kevin Fishbane from The Athletic. I've heard, I know the name Adam Johns. I can't say I've ever read of him, but I don't know how I heard the name, but I've heard the name before. I've never heard of Kevin Fishbane. I don't know. I don't want to trash them, not reading them. Like maybe they're great reporters, or maybe they suck. I don't know. I can't say anything about them. So maybe something to look into for sure. Sue says performance YPC was only 3.9 last year, right, Kenny? Yeah, Kenny's big on that YPC stat.
My favorite stat.
Exactly. All right. Who's your number one hidden gem for 2024?
My number one hidden gem might not be so hidden, I think, come in the very near future. But I've been as I've rewatched a little bit of 2023, I've come to love this guy, running back Keaton Mitchell from the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know that I just missed it last year. I know saw his stats, saw highlights, but as I've gone back and watched more of him, like I think he's really good. Like he's got it's similar to what people say about Herbert. Like he's got the lateral movement that the gurus seem to love. He's got the vision. Like he seems like he's the kind of guy that could be like a workhorse running back, and he's got the home run speed. He did get limited opportunities last year, but against Seattle, he had 9 carries, 38 yards on 9 carries. Multiple games where he had 50, 60, 70 yards on just, a handful of carries in a game. Didn't get a lot of opportunity, but I thought looked really good. And I don't know what's going to happen with Derrick Henry in Baltimore. Who knows? It feels Derrick Henry is such a unique style player. Tennessee built their entire offense around him. I'm not convinced that the Ravens offense is built around Derrick Henry's skill set. I'm wondering if Derrick Henry is going to just not fit. He's also on the wrong side of 31. He's also had some injuries. I would wonder if he falters, do they just go away from Henry sooner rather than later and give Mitchell a chance? If Mitchell gets the chance to be the full-time running back on this team, I think he could be a RB1. I think he could be a star, and I really have come to like him. And so if he's the kind of guy that gets the opportunity, I think he's the kind of guy that should be drafted in most formats. Late, very, very late, of course. Not. But I wouldn't even want to take the risk of leaving him on the waiver wire. If Derrick Henry gets injured week 1, I think you've got at least an RB2, if not better, for the entire season. And so I think I'm going to want to draft him in most of my leagues.
I haven't read anything on his progress coming off the torn ACL. I wonder, because I don't like drafting guys coming off torn ACLs, but that's more of like early rounds or mid rounds. Like, Keaton Mitchell, his ADP is going to be late because Derrick Henry's there, and people aren't going to look into him that much. His ADP is 202 overall, which goes to about 1910. So yeah, he's not being drafted, but he's a guy who just could break a long touchdown on any opportunity, provided he's healthy. That's the big question. If if he's healthy, I certainly have interest in drafting him. But if there's some negative reports, obviously we'll stay away. So I think that's something to monitor. But Slew bring up the Keaton Mitchell 8.4 yards per carry stat. There you go.
Oh, it makes me like him even less. Now he's down.
Yeah, forgot him. He's trash. All right, my number one. This is the only guy who's being drafted, but last round. His name is Dontavian Wicks, ADP 1608. So I actually thought, I was like, oh, I wonder where he's being drafted. So I thought maybe 12th, 13th round, 14th round. No, he's being drafted final round. So I don't know. I think he has some great potential. He has some really great games at the end of the year. He had 3 catches for 91 yards against the Chargers, 6 catches, 97 yards against the Buccaneers, 6 catches, 61 yards, and 2 touchdowns against the Bears. Like, it's really, really great performances down the stretch. He's a really talented player. Problem is he's buried on the depth chart. Like, there's so many receivers in Green Bay. Like, they're just loaded with these young guys. Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, Bo Melton had some good performances last year. And then you have Dontavian Wicks, is probably the receiver 4 after the first 3 I mentioned. Like, he's just not going to see that much action until one of those guys gets injured. But if Watson goes down or Doubs goes down, Reed maybe not so much. But, you know, if like one of those guys gets injured, suddenly he's going to have a great opportunity. And like we've seen him produce in the past. It's good offense, really well coached team. Like, they're going to give Wicks some opportunities, and even if those 3 guys ahead of him don't get hurt, he'll still do something. Like, he's like you could legitimately just draft him, unlike these other guys where you just probably want to wait on the waiver wire. Like, if you use your final pick on Dontavian Wicks, I don't think it's that bad, because he's at least going to contribute a little bit, and then once those guys gets injured, like, he's going to have a some great performances. So what do you think about Dontavian Wicks?
Yeah, I think he's a good player. He didn't stand out to me as like amazingly much better than the rest of the crew. As you said, there's like several guys there. Last round. I mean, you could do way worse in the last round there. I think he's a good player. I'm just not sure that he's great. Like, is he really good enough to stand out? Maybe. I'm not sure. I like the offense, as you said. I think I'm still interested in Christian Watson. I don't know what Watson's ADP is. It's hard to know how that's going to shake out. I mean, you kind of alluded to that. You said that, like, hey, there's a lot of guys there. Hard to know. But I like the idea of saying, okay, there's a lot of guys in a situation. We like the offense. We don't know how it's going to shake out. But let me take a shot on the guy that I like the most as the most talented. I think that's always the right bet. Just say, if you think Wicks is the right guy, the guy who's most talented, then, taking a shot on that guy over the others makes the most sense.
What do you think Watson's ADP is? I just looked it up.
I mean, he's got to be somewhere in this, I don't know, 7th round, 8th round. I guess 7th round.
You call it 807 is his ADP.
Okay.
I think it's pretty good. I brought up Watson before a couple weeks ago, where he was like proactive with his hamstring injury. Like, one hamstring was bulkier than the other for some reason, because he sought out to see why he's always having hamstring issues, and that's what they found out. I don't know what you could do for something like that, but I do like that he was at least like eager to find out like what's wrong, and maybe he's gotten some recommendations on how to fix it. I don't know how, but like the fact that he's like doing that, I think kind of shows you that he's going to have a good year, and I think he's really capable of some huge performances. So I'm a big Watson fan as well.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Before we open up Rainmakers packs, you wanted to bring up Paul George's signing. Actually, you wanted to debate me about my grade for Paul George's signing, but it actually turned out to be not my grade. Mike Elworth does the NBA free agent signing grades. I do the NBA draft stuff, the NBA draft grades. I did all the grades. But the signing grades is something that Mike did. And he gave the Sixers a B. I don't know if you love the signing or you hate the signing. I have no idea. So take it away. Just let me know what you think about this move.
Well, yeah, I was like, oh, as soon as the Sixers signed Paul George, earlier today, I was like, I got to see what Walt said about this. So I go to the grades, and I see the grade. I see a B, and I didn't see the byline. I didn't see it wasn't you. So I'm like, a B. This was my situation. This was my contention. I read the write-up, and the write-up's like, Paul George is a great player, blah, blah, blah. He's a good player. He's this. He's like all the positives. There is a slight risk with this move. He's 33, almost 34 years old. There could be, you're going to be paying a guy max money when he's 35 or 36. Like that could be a bad situation. Like, yep, there's a slight downside, but like this is it. Like the Sixers have a 1 or 2 year window if they're going to win a title with Embiid. And if they don't win a title in the next 2 years with Embiid, they probably won't ever. Like the window is now. And so Paul George, I'm reading the website. Paul George is a perfect fit, which he really is a really good fit for what the Sixers want to do. He's easily a top 25 player in the NBA still, maybe top 20 or better if he's playing in a good situation with a good coach. So like all this is good. I'm like, okay, I'm reading the write-up, and the write-up is like tremendously positive. Like, okay, there's a little bit of downside, but I'm like, yeah. And then the end of the write-up says, this is a home run. And I totally agree. This is a home run. Home run, A+, home run. And then I see grade a B. How does it make any sense? How is a B? You got to talk to Mike about this. How is a B and a home run? If I am a baseball player and I get to the plate and I hit a home run, that's the best possible thing I could do. There's nothing better to do than hit a home run. It's the best thing I could do. So therefore, I should get the best possible grade. Home run equals A+. I don't understand. So I'm thinking to myself, Walter, you just gave a great write-up. You said it was a home run, and then you give it a B. So what does a guy got to do to get a freaking A around here? You got to hit 5 grand slams in a row. I mean, the expectations for these guys. So then I texted you, and you're like, "It wasn't me, it was Mike." And then I read the byline. I was like, "Oh, okay." Never mind.
Oh man, I wish I made that mistake. It'd be nice scolding from you. But you can't do much better home run. I guess while you're rounding the bases, you can like run into the stands, like buy a hot dog for an old lady or something. Like maybe do that too. But no. No, I definitely hear what you're saying about that. I like the move. I feel like it's going to end in disappointment because I feel like every team that Paul George has been on has been disappointed by him in one way or another. And he's getting up there. I think he's 33. So but given the Sixers circumstance, they had to do one of two things. They either had to just get rid of everyone, trade Embiid, start over, or try to win a championship with Embiid. You can't go you can't do a half measure like the Falcons. We're going to get Kirk Cousins, but we're also going to draft the quarterback 8th overall. Something like that wouldn't have made any sense. Or like the Packers a few years ago. Yeah, we have Aaron Rodgers. We're going to try to win a Super Bowl with him, but we're going to draft the quarterback instead of T. Higgins or Michael Pittman Jr. So no, I do like that they're being aggressive here. They also signed Eric Gordon, which is solid, but getting Paul George is good because you need 3 superstars. You need in this day and age. You have Joel Embiid, you have Tyrese Maxey, and then you have Paul George now. And especially in the East, I feel like you can contend much better with that sort of build. I don't know if they can quite beat the Celtics, but it feels like they are the number 2 team in the East right now. And I say that, and then Joel Embiid's going to get hurt again, and then they're going to lose in the first round as they usually do, or usually second round. So that's probably what's going to happen. That's been the issue with Embiid. Unbelievable talent. It's just he can't stay healthy to save his life. It's every single year. And I would just say, now that they have Paul George and Tyrese Maxey, just put Embiid in bubble wrap. Just don't play him at all until a week or 2 before the playoffs, get his legs fresh, and then just get going. I don't know. Because I feel like he wants to play. He wants to win MVP, which is admirable, but then he just gets hurt. And then he just misses time and then comes back and he's not healthy. And just this, it's the same thing. It's like Groundhog Day. It's the same thing over and over again with this team. So I would just keep Embiid safe until end of March and then get going there. So that's what I do.
Yeah, I think when you're a team like this, it's you don't have a lot of options. The best possible, they went and got a player to add, without giving any assets up, without trading anything away. So I just thought this is the best signing of the offseason. And they're the team that that has clearly gotten the most better. Is most better proper English? I don't know. They're the team that has gotten better. They've added the most. They've gained the most. That doesn't guarantee I'm not even sure I'm not sure they're the best team in the East. They're probably still behind the Celtics, but the gap between the Celtics and the Sixers have gotten significantly smaller now than it was 24 hours ago. And it costs them money. What do I care about money? What do I care about Joshua Harris's money? He's a billionaire. What do I care? It's such a waste of money. Are you going to give him $200 million? Joshua Harris, $200 million. Like he's not going to blink with $200 million. Like Joshua Harris is a multi-millionaire. He's the owner of the Sixers and the New Jersey Devils and the Washington Commanders, Redskins, as we like to call them. Like by the way, he owns 3 different teams in 3 different markets. Isn't that kind of weird?
It's strange.
But he's a like if he woke up tomorrow and $200 million meant something to him, he would slit his own throat. Okay, he would jump off of a tall building and shoot himself on the way down. Okay, like $200 million means nothing to that man, right? No. So who cares?
No, but here's the question: is the cap fake in the NBA like it is in the NFL?
No. Actually, the cap is very real. Actually, I thought about it. I should probably write some articles on the NBA. No, unfortunately, the cap is quite real in the NBA, and cap hell is real. There's no way to get out of it in the NBA. The NFL, you could just eat the money and get out of it. In the NBA, you give a guy a big contract, you're stuck with that. We saw that with Tobias Harris and the Eagles, with the Sixers. They gave him a big contract, and they were stuck with it for 5 years, and we've seen that in the NBA over and over again.
Yeah. It definitely is really real in the NBA. That's why, and you can tell because in the NBA, like I've only seen this happen once in the NFL. It's the Brock Osweiler. Remember that trade where one team gave up Brock Osweiler and they had to give up draft picks just to move him? You see that all the time in the NBA. You see like crappy players who are overpaid, and they're shipped off with draft picks for like few lesser draft picks. You see that happen all the time, and like that's how you can tell like teams are trying their hardest to get out of cap hell, as you put it in the NBA. It is brutal, but yeah, I mean. So, if this were NFL, like I would agree. It's A+ signing, no risk really. But in the NBA, there is obviously risk to signing a 33-year-old, to a large contract. But like I said, I mean, the Sixers were in a tough spot. Again, they had to do one of two things: either start over or try to get to the championship. And Paul George was their best shot to pair him with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. So. I like the move. I think it's really good. It may not pan out, and in fact, probably won't pan out. But they had to do it. So,
I think in the NBA, the NFL, the difference is like, okay, hey, you have 2 year, like realistically, you got a 2 year window now for if you're a team like the Sixers, or if you're like the Dallas Mavericks, similar situation. Like your window is right now, to really maximize it. And like if you don't win in that window, then you're not going to win. So it's like. So if they don't win a title in the next 2 years and in 3 years they suck and it's a disastrous situation, who cares? They would have sucked anyway. So it doesn't matter. So hopefully you suck worse and you get a higher draft pick. That's sort of the situation.
Yeah, you were on Tobias Harris. I wanted to show. I don't know if you saw this. I had a nice laugh at this. So Tobias Harris flow chart. Does he have the ball? No. Stand completely still. Yes. Is the defender under 6'8"? No. Pump fake at basketball. Yes. Then pump fake shoot. Brick.
This hurts.
Post up for 15 seconds turnover. So is that accurate?
Listen, I can't blame Tobias Harris for taking the money. I would have taken the money. Yeah. Listen, if someone offered me, I blame the Sixers leadership. In the NBA, it's so heavy in favor of the players, and I'm fine. I'm whatever. I don't care. I don't begrudge a guy for making money. I'm a capitalist, and so he did what he had to do. He was not worth the money. He sucked, but someone offered the money. So listen, I suck at a lot of things. I'm not good at archery, but if you offer me money to be an archer, I'm going to take it, and it's your fault for giving me the money.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So yeah, any archer or aspiring archer hirings, send your email Kenny's way. All right, so let's open up some Rainmakers packs. You have 2 Rainmaker packs, I believe. I also have 2. I have 1 golf and 1 football. So do you want to do yours first, or do you want me to go first?
I will jump on here, share my screen. All right, here we go. Let me see. Portfolio. All right, so I've got 2 packs. And I've been buying up kickers, by the way. Nice. 2023 kickers. Okay, I got 2 packs. The one I bought I bought this one for $2. I think it was $2.12, and I actually paid $14 for this one because I'm chasing a little bit. So I'll do the more expensive one second.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean chasing?
Oh, I know. I'm looking at what's been pulled and looking at what's still there, and there's some really good cards that haven't been pulled yet. So
okay, interesting. Okay.
There's about 200 cards left in these packs from the week, from this particular week of the RPO Rare Classic series, and there's a lot of good cards in that set. So all right, so all right.
So you got a 50% chance of getting a rare card. So let's do
3
it.
cards in this. I bought this pack for $2.29.
Okay. All right.
And
let's get a rare Christian McCaffrey.
That would be amazing, but not likely. All right. No rare cards. Josh Reynolds,
who's now on. He's changed teams. Where did he go? I forget where he went. Jonathan Mingo, who's we'll see what happens with him. I'm kind of curious about Mingo. I wasn't a fan of his coming out of college, but he's going to have a better situation. Where's Josh? I can't remember what Josh Reynolds is. John Sanders, 411. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your digital card thing. So thanks so much.
You're the man, John.
You really should try this, John. I think you like it.
I love that every week he says, "Enjoy your digital card thing." That's the best. You're the man, John.
It's awesome. Yeah. He's on the Broncos. Who names belts out there? Yeah, Josh Reynolds on the Broncos. Big decline there from Lions to the Broncos.
Josh Reynolds, this card's worth about 20 cents. Jonathan Mingo is probably worth about 23 cents. So I'm about 43 cents of value right now on the 229 invested. So the probability that I make it back is going to be pretty low based on this being a core card. Jamar Chase.
There you go. That's a good one.
Jamar Chase is probably worth about $1.10. That's my guess.
Do you think he's a superstar this year?
That would not be good if he is. Let's hope not.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm in the wrong thing here. Hold on. There we go.
Yeah, to go to cards. So Jamar Chase, 52 cents.
I thought it'd be worth $1.
I think it's because he was a superstar last year. Which by the way, I think we have to discuss that. People may not know what we're talking about. For football, only football, there are usually 12 to 16 players designated as superstars, and you can only have one in your lineup. So, like, if they didn't have that, everyone would have the same top lineup. It would be like you take your quarterback, either Josh Allen, Mahomes, or Jalen Hurts, and then your running backs would be like Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley right now heading into the season, I guess, or Breece Hall, whatever. Your receivers would be Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, and then who else am I missing? CeeDee Lamb. Like that would be like everyone's lineup. So having a superstar differentiates. So like you have to have other players, and it's a tough decision. Like, do you put in Josh Allen as your quarterback, or do you have Tyreek Hill as your receiver, and then you have a lesser quarterback? You know, it's a good thing to have, the superstar thing. And so Jamar Chase has been a superstar. I feel like he will be this year, which actually lowers their value because you can't play up superstars. So so there's core, rare, elite, legendary, rainmaker tiers. You can play some core cards into your rares or rares into elites. Like, it depends. The number depends. But if they're a superstar, you can't play them up. And like that's why they have they have less value. Plus, you can only have one of them in your lineup. So superstars not as valuable. But if Jamar Chase is not made a superstar, then the value will probably double or triple.
Right. But as of right now, I spent $2.29 to get about $1 worth of cards. So
probably par for the course here.
There is nothing I love more than turning more money into lesser money. It's my favorite thing to do.
That's what we do here at the end of the show.
That's right. Okay, so now
Huhaim's asking, any idea when the 2024 packs are openable? They said August. It would have to be before the first preseason week, not the Hall of Fame game, but the first preseason week, which I believe is August 8th. So I assume it's going to be like August 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, something like that. I think it might be the last week of July, but I think it's gonna be first week of August. Huhaim is talking about the craftable packs that we're doing right now. So you can craft crappy old cards into new packs. So as you can see, Kenny has some on the screen there.
Yep. So this series, so I bought this for $14 because there's actually a bunch of cards still. There's about 200 cards left in this series, but we've got like Tank Bigsby, we got several Christian Kirks, we got some Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. There's Mike Evans, there's Keenan Allen. There's several. There's some Justin DK Metcalf, Jordan Addison, Justin Herbert. So there's some like really good cards. So there's a Cooper Kupp or two in here. So anyway, all that to say, there's some like really Garrett Wilson. There's a Mahomes. There's 2 Mahomes left. So I'm on around St. Brown, Rashad White. So there's like, there's some decent cards. 200 cards left, and like about half of them are like really good cards actually that I kind of would like to have. So you only need 1 or 2 of those to kind of make your pack worth it. So I spent $14 on this. I'll probably regret it. I'll probably get 5 cards. They're not worth it, but that's all right.
It's 5 cards. 5 cards, right? Yeah, it says 5 cards, and it's a rare lineup, so you're gonna get at least 4
all
rares.
5 rare cards. So
5 rares, okay.
2023 rare cards, and so let's see. Let's hope I get a Mahomes and maybe get a Garrett Wilson in there. I would. There's 1 core.
Yeah, 4 rares in the core. That's how rare lineups work. It's 4 rares in the core. Elite lineups are 4 elites and a rare. But once you get to legendary, it's 2 legendaries and 3 elites.
Baker Mayfield here.
So that's good. That's good because you need quarterbacks to craft packs. So you can. Yeah. Yep. And it's actually a good number 21 out of 4,050, which counts for tiebreakers.
The quarterbacks have jumped in price because of crafting. So.
Yeah.
Or just back in April, a Baker Mayfield might have gone for 75, 85 cents. 2023 Baker Mayfield. I think today is going for like $4.75, $4 and almost $5. So
wow, imagine if you bought up all of them at a time.
I know. All right, let's see what I got here. Jacoby Myers. All right, he's fine.
Yeah, he's okay. It's like I don't think you're too upset about that. It's pretty okay. Cole Kmet. Well, you need tight ends for your deep roster lineups for 2023. So,
this pack has not gone quite as exciting as I'd hoped, but maybe we can move it right here. Let's get a Garrett Wilson. Let's get that 1 Garrett Wilson card. Let's go.
Okay. Let's do it.
Rashawn Johnson. Okay.
You talked him down. Yeah, I kind of like Rashawn Johnson a little bit, but
yeah, I mean, I think he's okay. I think he's fine. Okay, this pack has not been an exciting pack so far, but we're gonna make up for it right now with a. Let me see. What do we want? Let me see. Well, we want a. I would settle for a. I'd even take a TJ Hawkinson at this point, to be honed. I'd take Amon St. Brown. I'd love a Mahomes.
Wait, hold on. This makes the whole lineup, right? Because so it can't be a quarterback, right?
That's right. That's right.
Has to be actually it's flex, right?
It could be a flex, running back or a receiver.
Yeah, running back, receiver, tight ends. I think everything's open for you. So
all right, let's see what I got here. Leo Shakir. Okay,
it's like Khalil Shakir could actually be really good this year. But yeah, I know it's disappointing. So
all right, let's see what I turned $14 into. I clicked on something wrong here. What did I do?
PGA the Showdown. Don't buy those.
All right, here we go. All right, Baker Mayfield. Oh, this was a core. I thought it was a rare. That's right.
Oh, okay.
That's right. So it's a dollar, $2.50. I could probably get that I probably sell for $1.25. So I turned $14 into about $5.50. So
yeah, it's a disappointing pack. I feel like the next pack is gonna be like all stars.
That's all right. I was just chasing. I'll probably keep chasing because there's a lot of good cards in that pack still, and there's about 60 of those packs for sale. So I'll probably keep buying them up and turning 14 into 5.
Well, you said you bought it for 14. Like, how much are they going for? Like, I'm sure you just put an offer for 14.
Yeah, they're all in the kind of, they were all in like the 19 range. 39. They're all from 19 to 39. Yeah, I put in an offer at 14 and someone accepted it.
Okay.
So
okay. Yeah, it's something I recommend doing is just putting in offers for stuff. You never know what you can get. All right. So I have 2 packs as well. Let's see. One is a rare trade-in for golf, and the other one is a rookie debut pack, which I've been opening frequently here. This rare debut pack is I hopefully redemption because I posted a Raymaker golf pack opening video on Sunday night where I opened 1 core, 7 rare, and 2 elite packs. And it did not go as well as I'd hoped. It was a pretty brutal opening. Like all the cards were not good. I actually said I was gonna sell everything, and actually I sold 8 out of 10 cards today that I opened already. It was like a grand total of like $40 or something. So here there are some good cards left. There are 100. I'm looking at the website. There are 166 unopened packs right now here. There are 2 Scotty Schefflers, which if you're not familiar with golf, Scotty Scheffler is the best golfer in the world, and it's not even close. I don't know how familiar you are with him, Kenny, but here's.
I've won some money. Between $5 and $12 every weekend, largely because of Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, look at those results. Since March 10th, win, second, win, 8th, second, win. He had a blip here, 41st, and then win. That's pretty good, huh? It's like a Tiger run almost, like Tiger circa 2012 or something. This is amazing what he's been doing. And granted, like I'm not saying he's Tiger because he has actually less competition. We could talk about that in another video. Kenny's not interested in golf talk, but no, it's no. So the point is, there are 2 Scotty Schefflers left. They're going for $60, and that's funny because that 1 card will be worth more than everything I sold in the pack party opening, where I opened 10 packs. Okay, so let me open up this rare trade-in pack, and the last person to open this got a Matthew Pavon, who's not bad, and Troy Merritt. Okay, so let's try to get a Scotty Scheffler. Okay, 1 rare as expected. Let's go. Scotty Scheffler. Jonas Blixt. Not Scotty Scheffler. Jonas
Blixt sounds like a guy that would get arrested for having fled to Argentina after being a Nazi. I mean, I just
Jonas Blixt, as you can see here, not Scotty Scheffler. He has not played on tour this year. The last time he played on tour, he got cut on November 19th.
Ooh,
he has not played at all. So I spent $5 on this trade-in pack. I think Jonas Blixt probably 50 cents. So I turned $5 into 50 cents. So I beat you in the futility.
It's pretty good. It's pretty impressive.
It's so bad. All right. Anyway, so it's cost me $5 and a card from last year, which I wasn't using. It was like a crappy card. Another guy who was not on tour. So I replaced the crappy guy not on tour with a crappy guy not on tour. Which by the way, let's look at the price real fast. Jonas Bliss actually can accept for $1 right now, and yeah, I will do that right now. Accept $1. Checking location. I will accept. There you go. Gone.
You literally turned $5 into $1.
Yeah, actually it's 90 cents because they take 10%. So I turned $5 into 90 cents. All right. Let's open up this rookie debut pack. Hopefully it's better. For the guys you don't know, you get 3 cards here. They're all rookies. 50% chance of rare in one of the cards. The person who opened up last got all cores. You got Malik Neighbors core, Xavier Leggett core. So hopefully that means I will be getting a rare here. So let's go. Oh, I got 3 cores just like you. All right, let's see who number 1 is. Ricky Pearsall, we just talked about him.
Here we go.
Obviously would prefer the neighbors pack, given that they're all cores. But he's going to be useful. I think I completely agree with what you said. So, my number 2 card is hopefully someone good. It's Ricky Pearsall. But this is doubles that we're getting. Again, I'd rather have the 2 neighbors, but hopefully Pearsall does well for me. I actually probably will sell these cards after the preseason. You can play the cards in the preseason to get packs. I'll probably just sell all my cores. Just because it's just so tedious to make core lineups. There's like so many of them. And my third, who do you think I'm going to get here?
Oh, this is gonna be Caleb Williams right here. I feel
okay. Not Ricky Pearsall. What if I get all Ricky Pearsalls?
That'd be lame.
All right, let's see. See if you're right. Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay, all right. We ended up
great.
We ended up with a banger at the end. That was nice. Let's see how much I lost. I paid $22 for this. Definitely lost money on it, but yeah. Let's check this out. So Marvin Harrison Jr. I could probably sell for $7. Ricky Pearsall for $1.25. So that is $9.50. I turned 22 into $9.50, which is better than turning $5 into $1. Into one, yeah.
Into 90 cents.
90 cents, yes. Yeah, I'd rather have this pack than the Jonas Blix. At least Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to do well for me. I probably won't sell the Marvin Harrison Jr. because you can play it up in rare. It's a great card to play up in rare, I think. But Ricky Pearsall, not someone you want to play up in rare unless he gets a great opportunity. So usually the cards you want to play up in a tier level, like you want them to be like top notch, who are not superstars, because you can't do that. But yeah, someone like Marvin Harrison Jr., like AJ Brown, who's not a superstar because they don't allow quarterback and receiver superstars from the same team. I think this is not great, but Harrison Jr. is someone who could make me money during the season at least.
Yeah, I like Harrison.
Yeah. Okay, it's my first one, I think. I don't think I have another one, so that was nice. Would have preferred a rare Harrison, which would probably net like $50 or $60. So, unfortunately, all cores. I don't know why they don't give you a rare, but we will be opening up more packs. I'll try to make that PGA Rainmaker pack opening a weekly thing Sunday nights, which I thought it was fun to do. It's like a quick 8-minute video. If you guys want to check it out, you can just look on the YouTube channel. Anything else before you want to head out?
No, it's it, man. It's been a good night. I now that I know that a home run is only worth a B, I'm a little depressed, but other than that, everything's great.
Yeah, no, you gotta buy the old lady hot dogs to make an A+. So that is something that you have to know, and now you do. So you run the capisfake.com. Do you want to talk about this or anything else?
The capisfake.com. The NFL cap is fake. The NBA cap is very real. Yep. The NFL is fake. Meaning you can get out of it easily. I did write an article based on our last week's podcast. We did an episode on the five mistakes fantasy football owners make. So I went back and kind of wrote a kind of more thorough write-up on the five things there, and did a little bit of research to kind of corroborate some of the guys. I went back and looked at some ADPs of guys over the last couple of years. So, man, some of the guys that were drafted in the top 3 rounds of fantasy drafts over the last decade, like some of the names. Remember Thomas Rawls? Remember that guy? Alex Collins was a guy drafted high. Ronald Jones Jr. drafted high. There are some bums that have been drafted high. It's pretty remarkable. You forget these names, and maybe it's good because otherwise it'd be like just depressing to think that some of these guys were drafted, and people drafted these guys in the 2nd and 3rd round, and in some cases you're like, what's going on there? So
it is funny to look back at some of the old names. You're like, wow, I can't believe I used to think of this guy. Like, hey, well, how's he going to do? And you just completely forget names.
Over the last decade, guys drafted in the top 3 rounds of typical fantasy drafts: Alex Collins, Myles Gaskin, Trey Sermon, Clyde Edward-Helaire, Isaiah Crowell, Andre Ellington. Remember him?
That's right.
TJ Yeldon, Royce Freeman, Chase Edmonds, Jeremy Langford. Remember Jeremy Langford?
Yeah.
Niall Davis, Thomas Rawls, Damian Williams. All guys drafted high, or Niall Davis was never drafted high, but when Jamal Charles went down with an injury, Niall Davis was the number one waiver pickup. People blew all their fab on him to get him, and he ended up being a bum.
Or he was always a bum, and he just maintained his bum status.
That's right. So you look at some of the, I just can't believe some of the guys that were, but it's it's part of fantasy, I guess.
It's funny. Actually had like non-football thing. I actually had that like epitome or not epitome, just like epiphany today, because I always pick up my son from daycare/day camp, and I was like, hey Connie, how was school today? And he talks about his friends doing stuff. I think back because like I used to go to the same daycare/day camp when I was a kid. I'm like man, I used to remember this guy John I used to be friends with there, and like this guy Brendan I used to be friends with there. This girl, I don't even remember her name. We had like a play date, like we were talking about starting a band. We're like 4, we're playing with like toy instruments. Like we're gonna start a band one day. Like I don't even remember her name. Like these were people so important in my life that I just like don't know what happened to them. I can't even look them up. There's a billion Johns out there. There's a billion Brendans out there. Can't look.
True.
Yeah, I just don't know who they are or what they're doing now, or even if they're still alive. They just don't know. And it's weird because they're such a big part of my life, and now they're just like on, like they're in the ether, especially that girl. Like I was friends with her. We're gonna start a band. I don't know who she is. So that's kind of like the same thing here with like fantasy. Like you were like, these guys were a big part of your fantasy football life. You thought about where you're going to draft them. You're like, are they going to be good? Are they going to be bad? And then you just completely forgot their names. It's just like, it's funny how that works. So it's kind of that was kind of like fresh on my mind when my son was talking about his friends. So
it's true. It's funny how that worked. Me and my wife were talking about this a couple of nights ago. It's funny. You could talk about seasons of your life, like these whole moments of your life that basically become a sentence when you're telling people. Like people are like, "Oh, like tell me about yourself." I'm like, "Well, I'm 42 now, and I went to high school. I'm born and raised in Philly, and I went to high school in Philadelphia, and I went to college in Illinois, and then I moved to Texas for a year, and then moved back to Philly. Like an entire 4 years of my life is 2 sentences. Like
it's crazy, yeah. And it seems so long when you're doing it. We went to high school together. It's like, yeah, those 4 years seemed like an eternity when we were doing them, and now it seems like a blip on the radar.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah, some existential talk here at the end. So, all right. So, yeah, thanks guys for watching, commenting. Really appreciate it. Especially thank you to John Sanders for his 411 super chat. Thanks so much, John. I know you're not watching us anymore, but hopefully you try this digital card thing one day. We'll be back tomorrow with Jacob. We're going to be previewing the AFC North and the NFC North season previews. And then on Thursday, joined by Ben Wassley to talk fantasy football. And then Saturday with Tom, and that we're going to be discussing the Reigns of Castamere, the most famous Game of Thrones episode, the best Game of Thrones episode, as far as I'm concerned. And as far as everyone,
best is an interesting word to use based on the content. It's like most heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
Most. But best is an interesting. It's hard to describe. Like, is it the best, most shocking, most make you want to cry? I don't know.
It is shocking in the moment, but when you're rewatching it, it's like there's all these hints that it's going to happen.
It's
like,
pretty obvious.
So many hints. I don't even want to get into it because like Tom may be listening. Tom, if you're listening, just stop listening. No. When like Tywin is writing these letters the entire season, you're like, oh, what's he doing? You're watching this live. You're not thinking about it, but yeah, you see Tywin writing all these letters. When Roose Bolton hosts Jamie and Brienne at Harrenhal, like he's like nice to them, and it's like wait, aren't like why isn't like he treating them like crap like everyone else? And like he's like sending them back to King's Landing. And you're watching this like, oh okay, yeah, I guess this makes sense, but yeah, no, you're like, okay, yeah, well, I wonder why Roose is sending Jamie back to King's Landing like unscathed, and then when Jamie says send Robb Stark my regards, and then the famous line from Roose Bolton. There's so many signs that it's going to happen, but when you're watching it for the first time, you just don't know unless you've read the book. So it's great. Like I said, I watched it last night, and I'm like, man, I said as soon as the show is over, and I'm sure you remember the final scene of that.
Oh man,
the final person to you know to get killed in that, like her throat is slit, and it's like it goes to black. I said out loud, like, oh my god. You know, I knew it was gonna happen. I read it multiple times. I watched it multiple times, and it was still crazy. It's still very painful.
I had not read that far in the series at that point, and so it was quite a shock.
I would say this in the book, it was so intense, man. I was on the edge of my seat because like he would have like long chapters, and how you know how it's set up in the book. It's it'll be like Arya chapter, right, and then Sansa chapter. Each chapter would be like 10, actually 16, 18, 20 pages, right? It'd be like super long, but like when the Red Wedding's happening, it's like one page Arya, one page Catelyn, one page Arya, one page Catelyn. Right. It just go back and forth, back and forth. It was so fast. It's like, oh my god, like what is happening here? It's crazy how he wrote it. It's so good.
Wild. So
yeah, I'd recommend reading it. It was good when it happened, and even when Arya is hit, I was like, I thought she died. Like the way he wrote it, it's like in the show you could tell she's not, but in the book, when she's like, it's, I forget how he wrote it. It's like Arya took a hit in the back of the head with an axe or something. It's like, Arya dead too? Like what's going on here? You know? So it's crazy. So yeah.
If anyone's not seen the show, you just gave away enough that I think, I hope that wasn't the case.
Well, I don't know. I feel like anyone still listening to this point who's like, oh, Game of Thrones, let me turn this off. I don't know. If you haven't seen Game of Thrones, definitely see Game of Thrones. Hopefully, you know, I feel like you know, it's weird because like if no one has seen it, if someone watching this right now hasn't seen it and they're like, oh, let me check it out now, like they're not going to know who I'm talking about, and they still have to get through 3 seasons, you know. So yeah, I feel like it wouldn't impact them too much. I've been kind of spoiled like that before on shows. And I just kind of forget the names. Like a good example of this is The Sopranos, where like I never watched The Sopranos until recently, and I always heard that like Tony was in a coma, but like it never spoiled anything for me. You know, I didn't know how he's going to get into a coma. I didn't know like what was going to happen or like how soon he'd get out. Like I just heard it, but like that, you know, it still didn't ruin it for me. So it just, I don't know. I feel like if you're not engrossed into the show, you don't know, like people like who's Arya, who's Catelyn Stark, you know. So,
that's right.
So yeah, well, yeah, definitely watch it if you haven't. And House of the Dragon, by the way, is pretty good. It's not like I don't think it's amazing. I think it's pretty good though. And George R. Martin is the executive producer of it, which is obviously a good thing.
Yeah.
So I would recommend that. I know you swore it off, but I think you should give it a chance. I think.
No, I'm done. I'm still angry. I'm not over it, bro. I'm like, you think I'm kidding? I'm not. I'm still angry about it.
I am too. But the fact that George R. Martin is on this, that saved it for me because they kicked them off of Game of Thrones, but they made him the executive producer. So I think they made amends and they kind of like realized their mistake, you know.
I don't care. I'm still angry about it. Maybe in 10 years.
10 years. All right. Well, when we're talking about 2034 fantasy football players, we're 52 years old. We'll talk about House of the Dragon.
Oh man, what a now you got me in a bad. I'm going to go to bed in a bad mood. Thanks, Walt. Thanks.
I'm sorry. Think about the Paul George home run signing. That's be higher than me. All right, Kenny. Thanks. Always great to do this with you. Love these episodes. Thanks for accommodating my schedule change here. And like I said, we'll be back on Tuesday. Thanks for everyone for watching, and have a great night. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You the man, Walt.